Democrats are asking an important question too to themselves, and that's whether or not their party can even survive through this election cycle with Joe Biden as their nominee. So now they might be offering up Joe as a potential sacrifice in the mainstream public eye and doing what only fringe conservatives, right wingers like myself, have been saying basically since a year ago, that I'm not convinced Joe Biden will be the nominee. The Democrats could do just about anything they want to. But the difference now is that it's not just right wingers like myself talking about this. It's mainstream media pundits as well. A lot of them, liberals included. I'm not convinced Joe Biden will be the nominee. We'll act and we'll comment under that presumption because he says he's running, but there's been talk for quite a while, and if you follow my show, you know I've talked about Gavin Newsom, J.B. Pritzker, Michelle Obama, other people that they could try to slide in once people realize the shtick is up. Well, now the shtick is up. How do we know the shtick is up? Let's look at how people reacted to the debate. We have the New York Times, one of the most liberal defenders, a sad, sad state of the country to see an amazing, one time in amazing journalistic source, now tends to lean very, very liberal. New York Times columnists, however, have turned on Biden after his disastrous debate performance. Columnists at the New York Times overwhelmingly turned on President Joe Biden following his disastrous performance during the presidential debate, the 2-hour event. Obviously, we just covered it. Reaction was overwhelmingly negative for Biden on television and social media. He did not do any better when it came to print journalism, as not a single opinion writer at the New York Times said Biden won the debate. The newspaper asked 12 of its columnists and contributors to assess who won the debate. 10 said that Trump won, while the other remaining 2 said that it was, quote, a draw and no one won. Man, for the New York Times, only 2 of their opinion writers said that at best it was a draw. The Times op-ed section was littered with anti-Biden pieces following the debate. However, it's not just the Times. It's not just the New York Times. While that seems to be one of the most liberal ones, I have a list, and this is also from the Daily Wire, of a bunch of headlines from several news sources that just show how negative the response to Joe Biden's performance was. We start here with the New York Times, a fumbling performance and panicking party. President Biden's shaky, halting debate performance has Democrats talking about replacing him on the ticket. Dems freak out over Biden's debate performance. Biden is toast. It's frightening. Democrat voters worried by Biden's struggles in debate. WTF, panic Dems start looking for alternatives. The debate Democrats feared. Democrats panic over Biden's debate performance, doubt his future. Alarm and amusement. Biden's performance as world reacts to Trump debate. It's even being labeled by NBC as the Trump debate because Biden did so bad. Top Democrat fundraisers sound the alarm after Biden's debate performance. Swing state voters react to presidential debate Biden's weak performance. Biden falls flat against Trump. Biden's disastrous debate pitches his re-election bid into crisis. That's from CNN. BBC, Democrats backed into corner. Analysis, Biden's incoherent debate. Variety, Biden should have never debated Trump, and CNN did him no favors. Man, scathing reviews from the mainstream media. Scathing reviews. It's insane. It is insane. However, we even go to NBC this morning, days after the after the debacle, and this is a longer clip, but we'll pause it, react to it a little bit in different ways. But they even say on this NBC clip from this morning, Sunday, June 30th, on Meet the Press, I believe it was this morning, that Joe Biden has Democrats in a state of crisis. Take a look and a listen to this clip right here.
It is yet another extraordinary moment in the 2024 election cycle, with Democrats in a state of crisis after President Joe Biden delivered a disastrous debate performance that fueled voters' top concerns about his age and ability to serve another 4 years in office. Not since the first Nixon-Kennedy debate in 1960 has a debate had as much potential to shake up a presidential race. This morning, there is widespread panic within the Democratic Party and questions about whether the president should drop out of the race.
I think it was a disaster. I think it was like maybe the worst debate I've ever seen in my entire life.
I do think people feel like that we are confronting a crisis.
There were going to be discussion about whether he should continue.
At first, it was shocking, then it was scary, then it was sad, and by the end, it was absurd. Is the riskiest path sticking with Joe Biden, or is the riskiest path saying we want someone else? And anybody who says that that is not a tough call right now is full of.
On Friday, in a stunning move, the New York Times editorial board called on President Biden to serve his country and drop out of the presidential race. NBC News has learned that President Biden is expected to address his campaign with his family at Camp David. That's according to 5 people familiar with the matter. Now, he and First Lady Jill Biden arrived there late last night to join their children and grandchildren in a trip planned before Thursday's debate.
Look, I want to be clear about something too. Because we just heard a bunch of those liberal pundits, and they're people are like, oh my gosh, liberals are saying like that we might need to replace him, and that his brain was, and that he's mentally unstable. We're just now realizing this. Oh my God, if you believe, if you really think that that we're just now waking up to this, that we didn't know that Biden was this mentally incapable, then you really need to ask yourself, and I mean this in the most empathetic way. Ask yourself, where do you get your news from? How do you consume your media? Because if you didn't know that our president was not all there before that debate, then you have bigger problems on your hand than the president being a feeble-minded old fool. Seriously. And so when we have all these liberals that are out here like, oh my gosh, he really is that bad. I guarantee you those pundits, they already knew that he was that bad, but they were like, we're not really voting for Biden. We're voting for all the people that are pulling the strings, and they know that. But they were like, we still need Biden to look good enough so that the people can pull the strings and be the puppet masters. But now it's clear that they got to ditch the dead horse because the weight is too much.
The campaign was always going to be a topic of conversation, but now undoubtedly Thursday's debate will be front and center. Senior advisor Anita Dunn addressed the matter on Saturday.
You all did not have any kind of conversations about, should Joe Biden drop out of this race?
The conversation that we had is, okay, what do we do next? Mm-hmm. Okay, that is, if there's one thing that we're about, it's, okay, Barack Obama said bad debates happen. We had a bad debate. What do we do next? And, the president, above all, is focused on what do we do next? What do I need to go do?
President Biden, who agreed to the earliest general election debate in modern political history, had one goal: to persuade voters who are skeptical about his age and fitness for office that he is up to serve another 4 years. Mr. Biden has consistently told voters, watch me.
If I were to run, I think they're going to judge me on my vitality. Can I still run up the steps of Air Force Two? Am I still in good shape? Do I have all my faculties? Am I energetic? I think it's totally legitimate for people to ask those questions. This is for the voters to decide. Take a look. Look at me, see if I have the energy, see if I know what I'm talking about, and make their judgment. I think it's a legitimate thing to be concerned about anyone's age, including mine. I think it's totally legitimate. But I think the best way to make the judgment is to watch me.
Well, on Thursday night, voters watched the president deliver a halting performance, at times appearing confused and repeatedly losing his train of thought.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
So that was even NBC recognizing that Joe Biden might be on the way out, that people are not liking what they're seeing with him right now. And I got to be honest with you. This is not good. This is not good. The ironic thing about all of this is that Democrats tend to be the people that claim democracy. We're the party of democracy. We're the Democrats. Democracy being the political philosophy that basically majority rule. 51% can decide for the other 49%. However, in the way that their primary operates, it's not an open primary. It's not any delegate can do whatever they want. It's that they have to do what the party says. It's not even allowing for delegates can easily bypass whatever voters say. They don't have to care about the will of the voters. They can do whatever the heck they want. As of right now, not even what they want, what the party wants them to do, what the party dictates. The party can dictate something that's different than what the will of the people do. The Democratic Party is actually the least democratic organization in politics. They don't care about democracy. They care about exerting their will and expanding power, the power of the government, into every possible facet of the country. Every facet of your life. If the government's not in it, they want to be. We need to stop this. We can't have Biden drop out because if they do, we don't know what's going to fill his place. We know Trump will beat Biden if Biden is the nominee. Prior to this debate, like I said earlier, only fringe individuals, and I say fringe definitionally, people that I know my opinions are not middle of the road. I know the way I see the world is not what necessarily garners all of the people. I'm not looking to get the masses. I'm looking to appeal to those that think like I do, and also appeal to those that want to challenge my worldview. Because I don't care about necessarily being popular. I care about being right. And I could be wrong on things, but I'm digressing. My point being, at one point, the discussion of Joe Biden being replaced was only from people like me, Charlie Kirk, Alex Jones, who I think I'm not necessarily the same as Alex Jones, but my point stands. People that speak truth to power rather than speak to masses. Now that even the mainstream is making it more, because it used to be I was a conspiracy theorist for saying anything like that. But now that it's becoming more mainstream for people to discuss the idea of replacing Biden, you'll get it to the moderates. The moderates will see it as a viable option, and then they can replace Biden with someone that they see as a moderate that could potentially beat Trump. One that could, RFK Jr. I don't think the Democrats would ever actually do that, but maybe. You want to know a plan that I have no evidence for? This is completely just me thinking out loud, and it could likely be totally wrong. But it's a thought I had in my head because I don't know. I haven't talked to, obviously, the people that are orchestrating the strategy of the DNC. But a thought I've had is that they've known for longer than I did that Joe Biden, they were going to oust Joe Biden. I bet they knew before even Joe Biden knew. Or they could have. And their thought, and the way that it came to fruition, is that they were like, well, we're going to pressure the media to do a debate prior to the nominating conventions. And it's going to go horribly for our candidate. But that is going to open up the public to the idea that, because right now there are a lot of people that don't want Trump and they don't want Biden. But now this opens up the door where the Democrats can say, oh, wait. The Republicans chose Trump. We thought about Biden, but it's clear that this man who is so dedicated to the service of his country has sacrificed even his own health to serve you, to the point of which we need change. Just like RFK Jr., Michelle Obama, J.B. Pritzker, Gavin Newsom, the devil himself, if they want. Now, I don't know if that's the plan. I don't know. But couldn't it make sense? Couldn't it? Reality is stranger than fiction. That's what I always say. And even with all that, I do want to point out right now that Bill O'Reilly claims that, and it is Bill O'Reilly. Some people really trust him. Some people really don't. It's up to you. But according to Leading Report, the decision has been made that Biden will not seek re-election, according to Bill O'Reilly. O'Reilly says the White House doesn't know yet or how or when to make the announcement. Reagan Biden family is encouraging the president to stay in the race. That was 4 hours ago, around the same time that Bill O'Reilly came out and said his. Very interesting. So it's been floated. I think Republicans need to stop saying anything that gives it as it's even an option for Biden to drop out. Because if it seems like it is, there's a chance there. Right now, if the election were held tomorrow and it was between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, I am 100% in belief that Donald Trump wins. However, if we open up the public and open up the door for the Democrats to change the candidate, I cannot tell you my prediction. And I don't necessarily think it would be good. I don't. What do you guys think, though? Do you think that Bill O'Reilly's right, that it's all but basically confirmed, all but reported out of the loose lips of Joe Biden's mouth that he's out? What do you think? Let me know in the comments, guys. I'd really appreciate it. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment what you think. But I do want to say, as you guys are commenting on what you think, if you think Joe Biden's out, do you think it'd be good if Joe Biden got out? Anything like that? It opens up a litany of other questions too, such as if Biden withdraws from this race, if he does, then wouldn't it also be conducive or at least consistent to also then resign from the presidency? Because if he withdraws from the race for health reasons, saying that he wouldn't be fit to serve for another 4 years, then what makes him fit to serve today? Right? By his own logic. I mean, of course, I don't believe he's fit to serve, period. But by his own logic, if that were to be what happens, that he decides to resign, or if he's even discussing from resigning from campaigning for health reasons, then why not resign from the presidency as well? And then it opens up more questions, such as, wouldn't this mean Democrats now have to open their primary? Or would they just handpick any Democrat? Where's the democracy in that? As I brought up, you had voters willingly who voted for Joe Biden to be the Democratic nominee. His mental incapability was not a mystery. If it was, I think you should heavily reevaluate your ability to discern information. But wouldn't that be subverting democracy? Wouldn't that be a threat to democracy, as the Democrats always say, to take away the duly elected nominee of the Democrat Party? Wouldn't be the first time. They did it already with Bernie Sanders, with Hillary Clinton. Who knows? Maybe 2024 is a rematch, not of 2020, but of 2016. Maybe it's going to be Hillary Clinton. We really don't know. And to make sure that we keep following it, do not forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment what you think. Comment. I want to see what you guys think about these things. I'm really curious. about all of the stuff with Joe. Share this with your friends. Go right now. Go reshare it on Twitter. If you're watching on Twitter, especially go on Facebook, post the YouTube link on Facebook. I'd appreciate it. All that fun stuff. We got another story coming up here, but that is the end of all that I can think of, all that I've processed so far from this debate, the fallout after, and what we're going to see in the weeks to come. Like I said, to follow it with me, make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel and that you follow me. I'd appreciate it.